Okay.
Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this wonderful Sunday afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than Sis Safiyyah. Her screen is on mute right now, so we're going to let her get that together so she can return the greetings. Okay, boom, there she is. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Yes, ma'am. This is an extreme honor to myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast. The first question we want to know is, what was it like for you growing up in the Nation of Islam?
What was it like? It was a whole lot of fun.
Okay.
A lot of memories. My whole family was in the Nation, my mother, my father, all my siblings. So every weekend we would go together. It was just a lot of fun. The sisterhood. We had a Saturday school when I was younger. So we would have different classes for the sisters and then classes for the brothers, drill, just everything. I love the environment. I love the sisterhood. I love the MGT. I love my nation. And it was a great experience.
All praises due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, there are many of us who were considered nation babies, people who grew up in the nation. Then once we get to a certain age, we may not choose to accept the teachings for ourselves. What was it that struck a chord to you that made you want to say, this is what I want to do?
Wow, that's an excellent question. I love that question. And I've thought about this before. I accepted or wrote my letter when I was 15 years old. I thought I had to be 16, but they accepted it when I was 15. So that happened. I think at that time, I was just going through the motions. I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do because so my mom did, my dad did it, so I'm just going to do it. It wasn't until I think after college, I actually fully accepted it. Like, this is what I want. I was homeschooled my entire life by my awesome mother. My father helped out as well. And when I went to college, it was just like a culture shift. Everything that my parents would tell me to stay from, that's what I was exposed to in that college experience. So I was able to see it firsthand. And, I'm grateful for that exposure because at that point I was like, okay, I don't want this. I want that. I want what my parents grew up on, what they exposed me to, because I was able to see the difference myself. Because it's one thing to hear, like, you can't do this, you can't do that because of this, and that. But when you're in it, then you really, get to decide like, okay, this is from God, this is not. And I'm not just doing it because my parents said so. It's because I see it for myself and I hear a lot talking to me like, stay on this path. So big props to my father and my mother because it's because of them I'm still in this nation and I love it.
All praises due to Allah. And my sister Naima says, Assalamu alaikum. And thank you everyone who's watching all across the country. Let's go back to your parents. Naima, she didn't say walaikum salam back to you. I don't think she wants to talk to you. My sister Naima said, Assalamu alaikum, Sis Safiyyah.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, ma'am. And everybody across the country, can you please, my sister Miriam said that's beautiful. On YouTube, can you please let us know what city you all are watching from? Now, Sister Safiyyah, boom, okay, Naima says, all praises to Allah. And Mimi says, that's beautiful. Thank you everyone who was watching. Okay, my next question for you is, who are your parents?
My father's brother, Stephen Muhammad, and my mother is Sister Rita Muhammad, both from New York.
Both from New York. All praises due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Now, once you came back from college, what was it like being an adult, in the nation? What was that like the transition from being, then watching you grow up to you actually being in the ranks?
Oh, wow. It was interesting because I was so used to, being the young child at the mosque, very quiet. And then at a certain point, when I came back from college, people started treating me different, like an adult. And I was like, what is this? Like taking on leadership, telling people what to do, like, giving instruction. I wasn't used to that. But I have to say that being a vanguard in the Nation of Islam helped me be a leader. It helped me grow into my adulthood and just, love myself and see what was hidden within me, because I was so quiet growing up. It wasn't until I was forced to, sister, teach this class, or go speak to the sister about this because she's struggling with keeping her head covered and covering herself. All these different little things that I was asked to do that I didn't think I could do until I was thrown in the water and I started to see myself. So leadership is one thing that the Nation of Islam has given to me as an adult. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All praise due to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And speaking of head coverings, what advice would you give to women who may battle that? Like, why do you, like, how can you, like, just like, oh, I'm wearing my hair covering today in a world where a lot of women don't wear their hair covered?
Yeah. Yes. So how could I say this? This body, all that we've been given, our hair, from our nails to our face, everything is from Allah God. And if he gave it to us, he knows how we're supposed to use it and work with it. So if he's saying we need to cover our hair, if he's saying we need to cover this, then we need to take heed to that instruction, because he knows more than we know, right? He's the all-knowing, he's the all-seeing, he's the all-wise. So why not listen to him, right? And it's not just because he said it, but it's our protection. It's our crown. This is something that not everyone deserves to see, right? And that's yes. So we should just keep ourselves protected, because we live in a nasty world. This world is out of control, and doing something as simple as covering our hair, let me not say simple, because it's not easy, because everyone around, that's why it's called our uphill road.
Yes, ma'am.
Covering ourselves is our uphill road. But just think about what Allah wants for us. And Jesus said, if you want to be my disciple, you have to deny yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So you may want something and like something that's of this world, but it's something that we're not supposed to do, right? So you have to deny yourself, deny your personal desires if it's against the will of Allah. Just see the bigger picture. Don't just think, I want this, I want that, No, what does Allah want? What does he want for you? So look at it from that perspective.
Excellent advice. All praises due to Allah, and people are showing you love all across the country. And I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Now, Sister Safiyyah, speaking of head coverings, let's go ahead and break the internet. Let everyone know what wonderful invention that you've made. That you've created. Can you put us on to this headpiece? Let us know what you got.
Yeah. So praise be to Allah. Allah instilled the idea into me to create the headpiece grip, which is a headband, and I have it right here because
Okay, yes, ma'am.
A headband that prevents headpieces from slipping off your head. Because oftentimes, you see a sister just, and then your hair gets all messed up underneath. It's causing hair breakage. But to prevent all that, I created the headpiece grip. So you put it on underneath your headpiece, or scarf. This works for scarves as well. And your headpiece will never slide off again. So it's called, my business is Safi Shop, and the product is called the headpiece grip. The website is safishop.etsy.com. So SAFISSHOPPE.etsy.com. So they're only $10. Support your sister, and your headpiece and scarves will never slip off again.
Praise due to Allah. And my sister Miriam says, thank you for your ingenuity and sharing your gift with us. Thank you to everyone showing you love across the country. Now, Sister Safiyyah, for me growing up in the Nation of Islam, something that I always noticed was the sisters headpieces flying everywhere when they drilling, when they're holding posts, when they're just walking down the street. I have sisters that may watch this, support the podcast. The edges always falling all over the place. They're sweating. There's gel connected to the top. It's just a lot going on. So you're saying that with your invention, they can prevent all of that.
Right. In the wind, when you're drilling, when you're speaking. Minister Ava has one. In fact, she has all the colors. And she said she did 3 lecture series. It was called the Law of God Part 1, Law of God Part 2, and Part 3. On the 3rd part, she was wearing her headpiece script because that's when I sent it out to her. And she was like, everyone gave me compliments about Part 1 and Part 2, but they were like, there was something about that Part 3. And she was like, it's because my headpiece was secure. I wasn't distracted, because it's a distraction when you're yanking on your headpiece to stay on your head. So this alleviates all of that. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. So, and I want to make sure that I stress to all the sisters who watch it, let's make sure we go get it. And to all of the men, the brothers, the FOY, in, out the nation, let's make sure that we get it for our sisters and stuff like that. Because sometimes you might be somewhere and you don't want to offend the sisters, but say, sister, I'm tired of seeing your headpiece slide off your head. So let's make sure that we get it. Go to, what's the website you go to?
Mother's Day gift. This is a Mother's Day gift. You gotta give it to your mother.
Mother's Day gift. Boom.
Safishop.etsy.com. SAFISSHOPPE.etsy.com.
Phenomenal. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. That's Safiyyah. We have a few more questions for you, but we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast during this month. And I want to wish all of the mothers and the queens out there happy Mother's Day. If you all would like to be a sponsor or donor, please cash app the People's Podcast. My brother Rashad. Oh, here we go. Boom. Here we go. My brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Also, my sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book, coloring book, and Spanish book, all which are available on Amazon. Please get those. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country and right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. We love our tiny dancers. Rock Communications. If you're working on a book and you need copy editing, project management, or content development, please reach out to Rock Communications. Also, Fashion Guys, Urban Streetwear for men and boys, 329-6009. Make sure you reach out to him. He'll keep you dressed in the best of fashion. Our brother, Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad out of Austin, Texas, conflict mediation, squashing the beef throughout the Southwest region. He does a phenomenal job. His wife, Sister Safiyyah Muhammad, children of the Most High God, giving birth to a God in the science of child rearing. Brother Kenneth, bow tie maker extraordinaire, he'll ship bow ties to you anywhere in the nation. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 disinfecting cleaning services. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my 2 books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. Right back to our sister Safiyyah Muhammad, the innovator, the creator of something that can really benefit everybody as a whole. We want to make sure that we support you. Now, this next thing, Sis Safiyyah, let's talk about, before we get to something that you bake, let's talk about your interaction with the Most High Minister Min Farrakhan. What was that like?
It was amazing. So do you want me to tell you the whole story or just that moment?
No, the whole story. Go ahead.
So the minister, this was the year I met him, the year he was going to Mecca, the holy city of Mecca. His delegation, Minister Ishmael, the national captain, Naima, and for Hajj. But he was leaving from New Jersey. So he was staying at a hotel in New Jersey. So that's where I was. That's where some believers were, to secure him, make sure he's good. And I was assisting, doing a bunch of different things. I was in one of the hotel rooms with my Vanguard sisters, and the minister was in the hotel in his own room. So we were just waiting, and I get a call, or one of the sisters says, "Oh, Sis Safiyyah, you need to go upstairs to the minister's suite." And I'm just like, huh? So I'm like, okay, I follow the instruction. I jump up, go up the elevator, up a couple floors. I walk down the hall and I see brothers on security in front of the door. And I'm like, oh snap, this is the minister's suite about to walk into. So I'm walking and as I walk in, everyone's looking at me. And then I see the minister sitting down at his dining room table with my dad and my brother. And I'm just like, what is going on right now? So I keep walking, and the minister, takes my hand. He's like, Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Sister Safiyyah. And he told me I was pronouncing my name wrong. I was like, it's Safiyyah. Safiyyah. He was like, you're pronouncing it like the English way, like the correct Arabic pronunciation is Safiyyah, not Safiyyah. So I was like, okay, I'm still working on trying to like pronounce my name correctly. And I was like,
yes,
but he asked me if I'm in college. I was like, yes, I'm in college. He said, what are you studying? I said, I was studying culinary arts at the time. And he was like, oh, wow. He paused for a minute. He was like, you will do well. I was like, I'll never forget that. And then he had me sit down next to him. My brother was next to me, and my dad was next to the minister. And he was just talking to us, and he was just asking us questions, and he seemed so interested and intrigued. And I know the minister sees a whole bunch of people every day, and it's just it's amazing how he draws his attention to you, and he wants to know. He's not, he's genuine in everything he does. So, he started asking questions, whatever. And after that, he said a prayer for us. So everyone was holding hands, my father, my brother, everyone in the room. Minister Abdul Hafiz was there as well. And it was being recorded. And after he finished the prayer, Ameen. And then after that, we left. But just the fact that the man of God, Jesus, said a prayer for you and your family is such a blessing. And thank God it was recorded. So we transcribed it. So we have it all written out. And like we have our little family group chat. So whenever we're going through it, we send this prayer out to each other. Just as a reminder, like it's gonna be all right. Just stay the course. But that was a blessing. That was a blessing.
Okay, great. Praise be to Allah. We're going to come back with that. Ayana Crawford says, all praise be to Allah. My sister Naima says, beautiful. Okay, now, once you were there, now let's talk about, did the minister ask you anything about cooking or, baking or something like that?
Right. So that day, that's when I told him, I went to culinary school, blah, blah. And then the next day, I was assisting Sister National Captain. And so I ended up being in that suite again with her, but the minister happened to be there at the same time, sitting at that table again. And the captain was like, go ahead, you can go and meet him once again. I'm like, okay. So, he said, he held my hand and he was like, are you going to bake me something? And I was like, okay, what would you like me to make for you? And he was like, whatever you want to make for me, whatever it is. I'm like, okay, yes, sir. So praise be to Allah, that happened. And yeah, that was it. That's pretty much it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, ma'am. Now, what I've been hearing about from the boroughs that you were explaining when we spoke offline, from the Bronx to Brooklyn to Manhattan to Long Island, Staten Island, correct? Everyone keeps talking about this honey bean pie that Sis Safiyyah makes. Now, Sis Safiyyah, where can we get this honey bean pie?
Muhammad Mosque number 7. So
okay. I'm
not shipping at this time. It's a very delicate pie. It's made with graham cracker crust, honey, no sugar. And I haven't been, well, you know what? If you come to New York City, whatever, go to my Instagram, Safi's Home Kitchen, send me a DM, be like, Sister Safiyyah, I'm going to be in New York. Let me get one of those honey pies. So I'll make sure to make arrangements so that you can get some. But inshallah, this summer, I'm going to make sure I'm out there every week with those honey bean pies. Those are originally from my mother. That's her recipe. So I'm not going to take the credit for that. My mom, the carrot cake, everything that I sell and make, carrot cake, cookies, bean pie, that's all from her. So.
Yes, ma'am. Now, can you explain it to us, for people who grew up in the nation, we had so many different pies, crust, and all of this. where exactly is the honey?
Where's the honey?
Yeah, like you said, honey pot. Like, is there a bean pot and there's like a honey in the middle, or do you put honey? Like, where's the honey at?
No. So the honey's mixed in the batter.
Okay.
It's all mixed together. So instead of using brown sugar, you're adding honey instead. And it looks like a regular bean pie batter. It's just better.
Okay, great. We just want some clarity because when you kept saying honey, I was like, I wonder where she puts the honey. Okay, all right, got it. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, ma'am. My next question for you, and thank everyone who continues to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. My next question is, what has been your greatest joy about in life so far?
Wow. Okay. That's wow. There's a lot. I'm trying to hold on. My greatest joy in life so far, I think it's been just finding my purpose and discovering new parts of myself. It's been like since the pandemic, that's when I started the headpiece grip business. That's when I started my cooking YouTube channel. That's when I started being a high school supervisor at MUI in New York City. Like all these things that I'm discovering about myself given to me by Allah is such a blessing because now I'm like, okay, I know why I'm here and I'm just going to keep doing this, stay steadfast in this. And Allah's been just showering me with blessings, even with the trials and the challenges, whatever. That's what comes with it. But ultimately, I'm finding myself, finding my purpose, and I'm helping our nation. So that's something that I'm most excited about. What was the question again? Yeah, that was it. That's it.
Okay, great. And what is your YouTube channel?
YouTube channel. It's Safiyyah's Home Kitchen. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Yes, ma'am. And we make sure that we share this on YouTube. Let's go like, share, and subscribe. Safiyyah's Home Kitchen. And on Safiyyah's Home Kitchen, what are you teaching?
Cooking. So one of our 7 units at MGT is to know how to cook besides in the kitchen. So ultimately the goal was to help young women to learn how to cook in an easy, simple way. So I have navy bean soup recipes on there, cauliflower curry stews, salmon recipes, all types of good stuff. Okay,
great. And when you're on there, when the recipe's there for somebody, say like myself, who's watching, who doesn't know how to do the recipe as good as a lot of women, a lot of sisters out here, are we looking at you do the steps, or are you just presenting it and then explaining it?
I'm doing it. So you'll see my hands chopping the onions, sauteing this and this and that. Yeah, you'll see me in action, showing each step.
Praise be to Allah. My sister Naima, who you didn't return to the greetings earlier, says she would definitely subscribe. Thank you very much. Once again, what is this, Naima? So you can know what it is. What is it called? Safiyyah's
Home Kitchen.
Safiyyah's Home Kitchen. We subscribing. We're gonna be subscribing. Now, Sister Safiyyah, what is your favorite album of all time?
Wow. There's so many. Wow, favorite album of all time is Michael Jackson. Is it Off the Wall or Thriller? It's one of those.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the album, but I know it has Thriller is on there.
Okay, so Thriller. So then Thriller.
Yeah, it's Thriller. Yeah.
And we can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. One of the greatest Southern albums of all time. So you can't go wrong with that.
Oh yes.
Okay, great. I wasn't expecting you to say Michael Jackson Thriller, but okay, that's cool. All right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Now, I want to thank you, Sis Safiyyah, for taking time out of your busy schedule, for coming on the People's Podcast. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. I want to make sure that we support you with the headbands. I'm going to promote it, chop it up so I can post on my Instagram and Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Make sure people support these headbands. And next, I know that all sisters do is think about the sisters, but if you think of something for the brothers, FY uniform hats or something, I'm sure you'll create something, no pressure. But I'm saying, don't forget about us. Don't forget about us as well. Yes, ma'am. So we're going to put this on YouTube right now. Thank you. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. Please give your family the greetings. Thank everyone who's watching. May Allah bless you with your businesses. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Alaikum salam. Thank you for this
Thank you.
opportunity.